Welcome to Calfetti Crochet. Today we're going to be crocheting some adorable jack-o'-lantern bun huggers. For this project you're going to need orange yarn and medium weight. You will need a 5 or a 5.5 millimeter hook. You'll need 2 1-inch hair ties, a stitch marker, sewing needle, scissors, and then black felt in order to make the jack-o'-lantern's face. Okay, we're going to start with the orange yarn and make a magic loop. So I make a double magic loop. In order to do this, you wrap around the yarn 3 times. You go under the first 2 loops, pull the third loop back like it's a bow and arrow, scoop it like it's ice cream, and then you can chain 1 with the yarn closest to your ring finger. And that's going to give you a nice, secure magic loop. Okay, now we're going to do 8 half double crochets inside the magic circle. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Okay, so now to close this double magic circle, we're going to scooch the stitches close to each other, as close as possible is really good. Okay, now we have 2 loops there, as well as our tail. We're going to gently pull a tail to see which loop moves. So the loop that's shorter, that's the loop that moved. We're going to pull it the opposite direction, which will close the first loop. Okay, you want to pull it nice and tight. Now we can pull the tail, and that'll close the second loop. Okay, and that's very secure. That's not going anywhere. So we can go ahead and cut off that tail so it doesn't get in our way. You can sew it in later if you want to. Okay, we're going to put a stitch marker in the last stitch of the round. Now for round 2, we're going to do 2 half double crochets in each stitch, so a half double crochet increase. We're going to do that for a total of 16 stitches. So that's 2 in 1 stitch. Here's 3 and 4 in the second stitch. 5 and 6 in the third stitch. 7 and 8 go in the fourth stitch. 9 and 10 go in the fifth. Here's 11 and 12 go in the sixth stitch. 13, 14 go in the seventh stitch. And the last stitch with our stitch marker, we're going to do 2 half double crochets in that stitch. And that's going to give us 16 total. We're going to move our stitch marker and put it in the last stitch of that round. Okay, for this row, we're going to do 1 half double crochet followed by a half double crochet increase. So 1 half double crochet in that first stitch, and then an increase in the next stitch. That's 2 half double crochets in that same stitch. Half double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet increase in the next. Half double crochet, half double crochet increase. Half double crochet, half double crochet increase. Half double crochet, half double crochet increase. half double crochet, half double crochet, increase, half double crochet, half double crochet, increase, half double crochet, and half double crochet, increase in that last stitch, which is the one with the stitch marker. Okay, we're going to move that stitch marker to the last stitch of that row. Okay, for the next row, we're just doing one half double crochet in each stitch around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then the 24th goes in that last stitch, which is marked with the stitch marker. And we're going to move that stitch marker, put it to the last stitch of that round. Okay, for the next row, we're going to do one half double crochet in each stitch around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and the last stitch 24 goes in the stitch with the stitch marker. Okay, we're going to move that stitch marker, put it in the last stitch of the row. Okay, for the next row, this is the most tricky row. We're going to attach the hair tie. So we're going to put the hair tie right next to the stitches so that when we go into the loop, we're also going to go through the hair tie. And for this row, we're doing single crochets. So single crochet through that first stitch and the hair tie. Now single crochet through the second stitch and the hair tie. And and single crochet through the third stitch in the hair tie. And there's stitch 4, single crochet 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now the hair tie is a little bit tight. We can just pull the hair tie out, give us a little bit more slack. Okay, move on to the 15th single crochet. At 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, pull the hair tie a little bit more. 22, 23, and the 24th stitch is going to go in that stitch with a stitch marker. Okay, so now you can see we've got that nice gathered row with the hair tie. Okay, we're going to move on to the last row. So I'm going to put my stitch marker in the last stitch of that last row. Okay, now I'm going to chain 2. In the next row, we're doing front loop only, double crochets. So going into that first stitch, front loop only, I'm going to do a double crochet. In the next front loop, I'll do another double crochet. And in the third, we're going to do a double crochet increase. Okay, so the pattern is double crochet, double crochet, double crochet increase. Okay, front loop only, double crochet. Front loop only, double crochet. Front loop only, double crochet, increase in the next stitch. Okay, front loop only, double crochet. Front loop only, double crochet. Now front loop only, double crochet, increase. Front loop only, double crochet. Front loop only, double crochet. Now front loop only, double crochet, increase. Front loop only, double crochet. Front loop only, double crochet. Front loop only, double crochet, increase. Front loop only, double crochet. Front loop only, double crochet. Then a front loop only, double crochet, increase. Next, front loop only, double crochet. front loop only double crochet, front loop only double crochet, increase. Okay, now just one more repeat, front loop only double crochet, front loop only double crochet, and front loop only double crochet, increase. Okay, we're going to skip over that next stitch and we're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch we did. So not the chain 2, but the next stitch. Okay, you're going to chain 2 and then cut the yarn. Okay, this gives it a very sturdy knot. Just slide that knot close to the last end of the stitch and it makes it very secure. Okay, let's weave in this end. So I like to go down the back of the very first stitch. Then down that stitch just in between the stitches. Okay, and then I want to go underneath the hair tie. And in that row of single crochets, I'm going to go back and forth in between those stitches. Okay, just 2 or 3 times. Okay, now that's secure, we can cut off the yarn. And we are all done with the bun hugger. Okay, now we're going to use our black felt. I'm going to cut just a small rectangle, and this will be for the eyes. So I can fold the rectangle in half, and then I want the eyes to be triangles. So I'm just going to cut at an angle, 2 at the same time, so hopefully they'll be about even. Okay, pretty cute. Okay, now with another rectangle, I'm going to cut a smile. So I'm going to curve along the bottom. And then at the top, I'm going to cut just a couple grooves, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now I can cut off a couple of these little pieces that'll give me a little toothy grin. All right, something like this. Right, the mouth is a little bit too big, so I'm going to trim off the teeth a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to trim the smile just a little bit. All right, and that's much better. All right, so now we're going to grab a glue gun and we're going to glue on the felt smile and the felt eyes. All right, so I have a silicone pad and a silicone little thimble type thing to use just to prevent any burning. So I'm going to start by putting just a little dab of hot glue on the eyeball, and these are really small pieces. So you do need to be very careful. And then I'm going to tap it down, but make sure it doesn't glue to the back of the piece. Just be very careful. Okay, looks pretty good. I'm going to grab the second eye. Put a little bit of glue. Put it down. Okay, and then a better idea would be the silicone on the inside of the piece. That way I can press down with my thumb on the outside and then press up with the silicone on the inside, making sure I don't get burned. All right, looks good. Now we're going to glue on the smile. So just put a little dabs of glue along the curve, and then also on the teeth going up. Okay, and again, I'm going to put my silicone finger on the inside. That way I can tap it down safely and not burn myself. All right, and there you have a very beautiful jack-o'-lantern bun hugger.